Hey guys, my name's Alicia. I'm a business coach for massage therapist, and I'm super excited to be able to share this case study with you of a man named David Clayton, who's an awesome therapist from Adelaide that uses compassionate touch to help his clients. So David is an amazing therapist who uses a lot of myofascial techniques and craniosacral therapy as a really gentle way to impact the health of his clients. Now, David was in full-time work when we first spoke in a job that he didn't enjoy and didn't know how to transition out of that. Once he went through our 6-week fully booked without burnout course, he talks about his journey then to come aboard into our 6-figure therapist program, where we're literally working with him over a 12-month period to see amazing results. And I can't wait to share those with you as we journey through David's last 2 years with us and working with massage champions, and how that has shifted so much for him internally and externally. And I look forward to seeing you at the end of this video. Good morning, David. It's fantastic to have you on. Thanks heaps for coming in today.
G'day, Alicia. How are you?
Good, thank you. Really excited to have a chat with you because of the story or the journey that you've gone on over the last sort of 12 to 18 months. And I'm really excited. I know that there's going to be a bunch of people who this is really relevant for, and a bunch of people who are going to really resonate with your story. So do you want to maybe a little bit introduce yourself, a little bit about your business, who you are and who you help for us at the moment?
Yeah, great. So my name is David Clayton. I'm a remedial massage therapist. My business is My Hands Healing Therapeutic Massage. So I've got two rooms. One is a home-based clinic in Hope Valley in the northeast of Adelaide, and the other is in Bowden in a chiropractor's clinic just 5 minutes north of the CBD. So I've been massaging for about 16 years, working for myself just over 12 months as a full-time business. And my primary area of focus is around chronic injury, chronic pain, stress, anxiety, and depression.
Nice. And do you want to maybe unpack, because I know that you do things a little bit differently in the way that you treat, how you actually help those people?
Yeah, sure. So I've got a couple of ways I like to describe how I do business. So one is that I love to help people to feel better, to move better, and to recover faster. And I'm a real big believer in that massage does not need to hurt to be effective. And I've got a really big focus on compassion and nurturing as part of my treatment style. So as a remedial massage therapist, lots of tools in the toolkit, as most of you would be familiar. And a large focus of my treatment involves myofascial release and craniosacral therapy.
What would be your massive vision for the next 12 months? Where are you really excited to take this whole business, and what are you excited to create?
Yeah, so my long-term plan is to have a wellness clinic. That's the 5-year vision. I was thinking the other day, it would lovely be to have an onsen. As part of that wellness focus. In the next 12 months, I'll be bringing my first employee on, and I've got a exciting training package which I'm looking forward to releasing just before Christmas, which is a real focus on couples massage. That's really bringing into play my passion for the power of touch in communication, and just that essential part of being touched to feel loved and to feel whole.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. Because you've got your, fantastic relationship yourself. You've got a couple of gorgeous kids. And I love that is really inspiring you to move forward, and you've always got them at the front of your mind when you're making decisions. I know when we've spoken before, you absolutely are you've got a beautiful heart for your family. And a lot of what you do is to help them, but also to inspire others and other couples to have a great relationship, which is phenomenal.
Yes.
And it's awesome. I know you've run some couples massage courses already, but you're looking to take it to a whole new level. So exciting times. So
yes, the next step is to make a profit from it.
That's right. Exactly.
This is business.
Exactly. So let's talk about where you were. We first caught up around 12, 18 months ago now, and you weren't massaging full-time.
2 years ago, actually.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so it was nearly 2 years ago. And you weren't massaging full-time. Do you want to maybe share a bit about where you were at, and share a bit about where you were at then?
Yeah, so my journey has been an interesting one. Coming out of school, initially I was thinking about being an engineer. So maths and science was my focus. And I went in to do a management degree. So the big focus was on people rather than on things. And that was really eye-opening for me. It really started my journey around working with people. Following that, I went into work for the government for nearly 16 years in a policy and planning focus. And the last 10 years of that was working with sport and open space and creating places for people to be active in. And as part of that, I did martial arts for a very long time as well. And that's what really sparked my interest in massage, was as I studied more and more around meridians and pressure points, that I started to learn shiatsu. Then I went on to do some relaxation sports massage, work with sporting clubs for a long time as a bit of a hobby business, before deciding that lifestyle was important to me, that being in meetings until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning wasn't so enthralling anymore, particularly with a young family. And just before my son was born, I re-engaged with massage training. And within probably 6 months, I made the decision that was going to be my next career move, was out of the safety of the public service and into working hands-on with people. So I came to the realization that I was serving the job. The job was no longer serving me, and that I wasn't coming home a better version of myself. And that really weighs on your mind and on your heart. And I made a decision that within 2 years, I'd leave the public service and that massage would be my full-time career. So I graduated as a remedial therapist, and within a few weeks of my qualifications coming through, I'd given my resignation. I remember going into to see my chiropractor, and I pretty much laid on the table and my spine manipulated itself. And he's like, "What's changed?" It's like, "I quit my job." He's like, "Good move. Good move. This will be better for your health long term." And that was it. I was in, and I was full-time massaging. I'd built a clinic at home. I built a small room external to my house. The plan was that I'd essentially work from home, but not in the home. And that would be the foundation of my practice. And I started seeing about 6 people a week, which I thought was all right for someone a few weeks young. And so that was July. By November, I was seeing 15 to 16 people a week, and then Christmas hit. And that first week of December through to the end of January, 2 or 3 people a week. It was so destroying. I had momentum, and then it was gone. It was crushing. So I'd done the fully booked without burnout whilst I was still working full time, and that had given me a lot of foundation, and I think it put me ahead of the game when I did make that decision. Because I do remember talking to a massage therapist who'd been in business for a long time, saying that they're seeing 6 to 8 people a week. It's like, "You've been in business for how long? How do you do that? How do you pay the bills?" It's like, I've started with 6 to 8 a week, and it's still not good enough. I've got aspiration for more. So as a background as a strategic planner, I had my business plan in place. I had my marketing plan in place. I had my policies and procedures all written up, and they're good policies and procedures. They're pretty schmick. But those things don't bring people through the door. And fully booked without burnout was a real eye-opener for me. Initially, when I signed up to the program, it's like, yay, this is going to be great. I'm just going to take this formula and I'll be rich quick. I'm just going to take these things and cut and paste them. All my marketing is going to be done for me. And when that wasn't the case, it was a bit of a shock. However, that sounds like a negative, but it really isn't, because I was taken on this journey of learning who I am, why am I doing, who do I want to work with, and then really trying to refine that message, my message, that I wanted people to hear and that I wanted people to buy into. And it's that whole adage of give a man a fish and he will eat for a day, teach him how to fish and he will eat for life. And that's what that journey was, that initial 3 months or 12 months of the program. So here I am. I've expanded outside of my home-based clinic. After 12 months in that room, it was really that time was a time of healing for me coming out of the public service. And I realized quite quickly that I needed colleagues. I wasn't in a position to employ, and the location of my clinic was not conducive to bringing people through the door naturally. I was in the back streets of a suburb, so no frontage, no natural publicity, and my business plan had said for a while that I wanted to co-locate with like-minded health professionals. And I'd had a bit of a sniff around earlier on when some positions came up with physios and chiropractors. And rather than them interviewing me, I interviewed them. And I turned down a few positions because I didn't feel that our values were a good match. And I felt that I'd probably be going back into an environment similar to where I was at in the public service, and I'd just be doing the same thing just with a different toolkit. In May this year, my chiropractor, who'd been treating me for about 4 or 5 years, who used to be a massage therapist himself and used to teach massage, he left the practices that he was in and bought into his own practice. And I sent him a quick message to say, hey, looking for a massage therapist. He's like, I'd be delighted to have you working with me. And so here I am. I'm in my what is now my primary room in Bowden, and we're on a journey together in terms of finding a common voice. The health values are a really good fit. We have different toolkits, but we complement each other beautifully. And that is a massive thing. We're not trying to compete in terms of therapeutic outcome. He does what he needs to do. I do what I'm good at. And the outcomes that we're seeing for some of our clients are actually pretty special. There's been a few days of tears here where you see the outcome of the clients and think, wow, life has actually been changed here. And that's a magnificent thing, something to be celebrated and to be cherished. So that journey is still a bit up and down in terms of busyness of business. I'm now consistently seeing 18 to 20 people per week. Had a great week a couple of weeks ago with being fully booked at 26 treatments. And the mindset of that busyness, previously I was being satisfied with like 15 in a week. This is a great week. Now 15 in a week is a quiet week. It's like, oh, I've only got 15 people this week. So it's back into what do I need to do to lift things, and really being courageous in following people up, being really diligent in rebooking at the time of treatment, following people up, not just a text message or an email, but actually getting on the phone and being brave. And sometimes they have something to say about you, and that's a gift. I want to hear where I haven't done so well with my clients, because then I can actually fix that. I can change that. And a values match is a really important thing with the clients as well. Initially that focus of just trying to get people through the door, and then realizing it's a real disservice when they just drain you. I don't want to see that person again. Oh God, they rebooked. Oh, they must like me. So that is still a thing where, okay, people find me through the internet, they find me through Facebook, they find me through Instagram, or they get referred on to me by others. They're not always going to be a values match, and that's an education process. Yes, I can still serve them, and I'm still working to that point of I work with my ideal client every day, and that will be an ongoing thing for a long time.
I love your journey, and I've always loved your heart and your passion. Like, for when we're overcome with tears of gratitude for the results we get for our clients, I think it's such a beautiful example of how you can have a heart-centered, successful business. Because without those clients, you can't have that result. And with that result, you can have an amazing business, which is what you're growing and what you're working towards. And I love that you display that so beautifully in the treatments that you give. And we are so blessed to work with so many heart-centered therapists. And I know for me, I'm like, one of my goals is to literally go around Australia and just having treatments with everybody. And I'm like, I can't wait to come to Adelaide because I'm booking. Like, that's what we're doing. The way that you talk about your treatments really, really, it excites me and it really inspires me in the way that you do it. So I'm excited to come and actually one day and experience it. And I love your story. You're so honest with, this was really, I wasn't sure how to do it. And that fear of, holy crap, if other people aren't being successful after how many years, can I even do this? Well, I seem to be off to a good start. Okay. And then having those aha moments and realizing, oh, okay, so there are things that I could do. There are steps that I can take. And even though they're not the steps that I thought, or they might have been some of the steps, there's a whole heap more that you learn, particularly through the foundations of Fully Booked, and then kind of coming into six figure. So let's talk about your journey from finishing up Fully Booked and having that, woohoo, and then kind of things going backwards a little bit. And then our conversation we had around April, May this year, as you've stepped into the Six Figure Therapist program now, which is a 12-month program where we're really about taking those foundational things and taking it all to the next level. What's been your experience so far? Maybe what was your journey going into it? Because I know, again, there was a little bit of apprehension. I just want to stay safe. I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to invest. Can you talk us through some of that?
Yeah, well, money is always, in small business, money is always an issue. And I've always been a big believer in investing, unless you put your money where your mouth is, and then you get nowhere. At the beginning of coming into six figure, though, my bank account was there were crickets in there chirping away quite merrily. And whilst I've been paying my bills, I managed to pay my bills, and I've been paying myself since I started in business. And I talked to other business professionals. I said, "You're paying yourself already? It's not even been 12 months yet." It's like, yeah, well, what are you doing wrong?
Nice.
Like, the amount that I'm paying myself isn't acceptable to me. And yes, I was apprehensive coming into six figure, because it was going to be an additional cost. So within a space of a few weeks, I'd added $500 to $600 per week in my overheads between taking on the additional training, the bulk of that with renting a new room. And again, that was a brave step to go into. And I think within a couple of weeks, the chiropractor referred 20 new clients onto me, which was
that's amazing.
That's a massive thing.
Yeah.
So having a good referral partner of someone who gets what you do, that's gold.
Yeah, definitely.
Any therapists out there who are interested, you've got to find a good referral partner.
Yes, definitely.
And so where Six Figure has been taking me has been, there's been a realization that I can't just focus on the people, specifically my ideal person, because within a short space of time, I'll be bringing on another therapist, and they need to have a client base as well. So there'll be a short-term realization of pain of these aren't ideal for me. However, they will be ideal for the next person. And as part of that process is thinking about, do I bring on my mini-me? And I've processed through the tools of the course, I've processed that I'm not going to bring on my mini-me. They just need to have a good values match. They don't need to do what I do, as long as they understand who I am, what my business is about, and the types of people that collectively want to treat. How they treat is irrelevant, provided that they've got that values base with me. And I've gone back to refine my values and ideal behaviours a few times now, as well as the key message that I really want to portray. And one of those key steps I noted back from Fully Booked Without Burnout, when I did my life story, I talked about being brave as part of my decision-making process. Every now and then I have to pull those values out and say, I'm going to be brave today. I'm going to be brave today. I'm going to make bold decisions.
Yeah.
because this is the only way that we'll move forward and that we will gain momentum. And I think that my clients appreciate those steps as well. They're coming on the journey with me. Yes, part of that journey is putting prices up, and that's for anyone who's out there saying, "Well, I'm going to attract people because I'm going to be affordable." You won't be in business for very long.
Preach it, brother, preach it.
And even today, I looked at a therapist around the corner who's just announced that they have to put on another therapist because they're fully booked. They're charging $20 an hour more than me. It's like, wow, okay. If I was charging that, okay, what would that mean in terms of freedom? And there's been a real journey around, okay, yes, I feared money, I feared success to a certain degree. Oh, what will happen if I actually do it? Oh my God, I might be successful. How am I going to deal with that? But yes, I'm now looking at that price point again, and really selling my value. This, when you come to see me, this is what you'll get. Not this is how much it will cost. This is what you're going to get when you come to see me. You'll be investing yourself with me. And that's a real significant change in mindset.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge change. Absolutely. And what would you say for you? Do you think that you might have had a fear of success or a fear of failure? What's been bigger in your journey, do you reckon, over the last couple of years?
That is a real yin and yang type question. The opposite to success is failure. And yes, I want to be successful, and there was always that the element of, oh, what if I don't make it? I think that fear of failure has sat more with others than it has with me. And this is where your tribe is important, because those people who tell you can't do it, or you shouldn't do it, they can be very loud sometimes. And they can make you feel quite low. Just when you think you're on a high with your business, you think you're getting somewhere, someone comes and talks in your ear, and you can have a real crash. I don't think that I feared the failure so much as I set some really high expectations for myself, and I didn't meet my goals that I set for myself as quickly as I wanted to. And that hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what happened when you did actually achieve them? Because I remember a post in the Six Figure group that you'd gone back and looked over the intentions that you'd set. And I think intentions are different to goals. We set a goal and go, okay, on or before this date, I have achieved or created or whatever it is that we want to do with clients per week or whatever. And then we need to detach from the outcome and do what needs. Because if we rock up to every massage going, oh my God, I have to rebook everyone because blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you're not coming from a heart space, you're coming from a head space. Whereas if you have the courage to show up in your business every day and you've got this intention to do whatever, in order for you to be able to detach from the outcome and take the steps towards it like you've done, what was it like for you realizing that you had actually created everything that you set out, even if it wasn't in the time frame that you put on yourself?
I set myself some targets when I was doing the fully booked. I hadn't anticipated to leave the public service as soon as I had. And my financial figures I haven't achieved yet. Turnover $100,000 in the last financial year. Probably a little bit ambitious, but I wanted to achieve 20 new clients by July of 2016 with a total of 70 clients, and that I would reach a total of 150 clients by January 2017. My client base is sitting up at around the 300 mark at the moment, so I smashed that one out of the ballpark. My annual turnover, that's still going to still in the process of building. I certainly was quite ambitious with that, but it's a good figure that I'm aiming for.
And it's so awesome. Right. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I'm
just,
back. Yeah.
it's just so awesome when you set those intentions, because it's, you know, and I love what you said about your tribe, because your tribe can be the people that are in your ear going, you can't do it. And, you know, I think it's really important to note that I think Brene Brown talks about this, about being in the arena and being the man in the arena. And when you're in the arena, whatever people are saying in the stands doesn't matter, because they're not there. Like if somebody's doing that, are they running a successful business? Are they stepping up and having the courage to be brave every day? Are they showing up and making a difference in people's lives? And looking at, you know, for me as a coach, we get all sorts of people say all sorts of stuff. How could a 36-year-old chick who's dyslexic and a high school dropout help so many people? And I had lots of people that I could have listened to their voice. But instead, and I know this is what you've done as well, is I put myself in a place of surrounded by like-minded people who are so committed to heart-centered success that if I don't succeed, it's going to be abnormal. If I don't actually step up and show courage and bravery every day to help more people, I'm going to be the odd one out. If I'm standing there going, oh, that sounds too hard, or that's too scary, I'm going to be the odd one out, whereas that would be normal over here. And so creating or putting yourself in a tribe where success, heart-centered success, is what everybody is fighting for, what everybody is having the courage to show up for. When someone posts their success where they're going, you little ripper, that is flipping fantastic. Like, and actually celebrating, you know, it often will take therapists weeks or months to start celebrating their success, because we're so not used to doing it. Because if you told these guys how successful you were, they'd cut you down in a heartbeat, because it would be a threat to the way that they're thinking. Whereas when you were surrounded by like-minded people, you know, one of my mentors he ran a 7-figure coaching business in 9 months at 21. Like, and he came from the most rubbish background ever. And if he had to listen to all these voices, he wouldn't be out there changing the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in Australia every year. He just wouldn't be, because it just wouldn't happen. And I love that when we show up, when we actually dare to do the things that are hard and walk into the path of most resistance, surround ourselves by like-minded people, amazing, amazing things happen. And that's what I love about you. And I love that you've connected into that group. So talk to us a bit about retreats. So you came to a retreat that we ran in Gold Coast as part of the 6-figure therapist program. Talk to me a bit about your experience, maybe what you were thinking leading up to it, and then your experience through it and what's happened after.
When we had an initial conversation around 6-figure and started to set some goals and say, hey, there's a retreat in a few weeks' time, it is initially like, can I make it to the Gold Coast when I've got moths in my wallet? And go on this retreat. And in that day, I just said, look, I'm just going to be there, make it happen. And we found the resources to do that. And I stayed in the backpackers hostel for that time, which was amazing, actually. And going into the room to meet face-to-face these people I'd seen in the forums, who were small business owners like me, who are doing massage like me, some of whom were solo practitioners at a similar place in their journey like me, and others who had been running clinics with multiple practitioners and thousands of clients in their books, and who were on their journey still. It's one thing to network through social media and through emails and watching videos. It's another to actually be in the room with people who genuinely want to share with you. And in small business, that's not very common. I keep finding people who think I'm a threat. These were people who wanted to share with me their experiences and share with me their learnings. And coming from that same place of heart is like, I've done these things. What can I share with you? What can we learn from each other? How can we grow together? That is where the value is. Yes, there's activities. Yes, there's information and learning, but the value is when you actually get face to face with other people who they are the tribe. They were there to encourage. They wanted to encourage. They wanted to be encouraged, And yes, there's times as part of the retreat and as part of the learnings to go, holy shit, sorry, I swore. There is a long way to go. Look at all the things that have to be done. You're presented with this elephant, like that's where I need to be. And then you start to break things down. And when someone shares something with you, it's like, yes, I can just take that and I can adapt it. That's gold. And suddenly the elephant isn't so big. And as part of that is the planning, which goes with the whole course. And for me, resources like this, this is magnificent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Structure.
What's my goal? What do I need to get there? Okay, these are the individual steps. This is what I need to do week by week.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the big thing that I've been stressing about, but these are the little things which I can do. I can do this.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you're like, hey, I've highlighted that other big thing. Woo!
Yeah.
It's done. It's ticked.
Yes. It may sound a bit shallow, but that's the process around achieving stuff, going from that big ideal to the day-to-day individual task. That's what makes the running the business a whole heap simpler.
Absolutely. And so many
It's
people get
overwhelming.
caught up with that. Yeah, absolutely. Because we have this, often people we work with have massive goals. I want to do this, I want to do this, and I'm yet to be scared by someone's goal. I love it. The bigger the better. And then we get so overwhelmed by that we don't know what the first step is. And it's kind of, then we tend to underestimate what we can do in 12 months and we overestimate what we think we should do next week. But
yes.
What we love to do is kind of like, no, let's actually have a massive goal and then let's just take little steps every single day. For me, I liken it to parenting. I've got literally hundreds of thousands of little moments in which to teach my children to be amazing adults. And it's the little things that make for an awesome adult eventually. Like they're only 7 and 9 at this point for me, but we've got a little bit to go. And it's those little, if it's the little things that you put in place along the way that make a huge difference to the outcome. And it's the same in business. Small hinges open big doors. What do I have to do this week if that's my goal? Oh, these 3 things, I could do that. Oh my gosh, I've just ticked something massive off my list that I've been perpetually thinking about for months or years. I should do this, whether it's a blog post or Google Ads or whatever it is, these bigger chunks that's like, I didn't even know where to start. It's like, well, what if you just came up with some blog topics? Oh, what if you planned out the next few months worth of them? Oh, yeah, I could probably do that. Just open up Word. Oh, I've never even thought about that. Just literally start typing. Oh yeah, I think it was Hemingway who would say, write drunk, edit sober, and it's like, have a glass of wine when you're doing your blog, because that's heaps more fun, and actually take action. And then the next day,
how I operate.
edit it a little bit, and then it's kind of like, we only drink coffee until it's late enough to drink wine and socially acceptable. Like, I love that idea that we can kind of get results while just doing something a bit of fun as well. So that's really cool. That's really cool.
And the process of both Fully Booked and Six Figure, and in finding your voice and finding who you are. When you go into the world of small business, there's all sorts of people who want to take your money, including people who think that you should be selling their product. And initially I went down the process of, look, I should be following this business opportunity. And you start to do all the things associated with that. And when you finally realize that it's been affecting your credibility because it's not a good fit, that's not a good thing, but it's a massive learning. For any small business owners out there, think really carefully about if you are doing any product sales or who you're associating with in your business, to make sure that they are a good fit for your values, for your behaviors, and your client base.
Absolutely. It's so important. It's so important. And I know for us, we did stock some products that were fantastic. And we also had some tenants that were fantastic. And we had some tenants that we thought were a values match at the start and didn't end up being a values match. And, it's like they say, hire slowly and exit, quit, leave, fire quickly. Like But if you're going to take something on board, like you did with when you're looking for your room, you just take the time to go, okay, I'm going to, I'm going to take my time in actually finding the right place. And I love that you said you interview them because
Yes.
you know exactly what you want. I want this. I want this. I'm not going to compromise on this. I could compromise on that. I don't really want that done. I love that. I think it's phenomenal. It's really, really good.
I had a moment of sadness the other day that one of those clinics that I interviewed, they're looking for a therapist again. It's only been 6 months, and I can only imagine that there's another therapist who's been burned out by the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody was thinking about either program, either fully booked, or maybe they'd done fully booked and they're not sure if six figure was for them, what would as we kind of come to a close, what would your thoughts be around that? What would you like to share with them?
Yeah. First of all, figure out where you are with your business. Is it a hobby or is it going to be your primary source of income? Do you want to be successful? Okay, I'm on my journey. I'm not at the end goal yet, but these are the tools that I need to get to where I am. Fully booked was a great introduction into getting my home-based clinic up off the ground, and it got me clients through the door. It helped me to find my message and to find my image. Six Figure is taking me to that next step of achieving a clinic, multi-practitioner clinic, and in doing the things which I never thought that I would be doing to complement who I am into building my credibility as an expert in my field. Is it okay to talk about the various pillars?
Yeah, please do. Be great.
Yeah, sure. So in our interview, initially in going into the program, we worked out where I wanted to be and what fit that I would be within the program. And the focus for the last few months really has just been on building my client base, because that needs to be strong to pay my bills, to pay more than my bills, to pay me, and for my family to reach its lifestyle goals as well. We need to have a strong client base. And in realizing that there is a bit of peacock in me, that I have to chase the pretty things sometimes. In reining that back in and say, focus on this.
Where's right that piece of paper? That book that you had before? What is the step this week? What is the step this week, David? Just
focus on this first.
That's right. When you
things that haven't been highlighted,
then you can have that. Yeah, highlight it. No ticking. We
highlight these things and then move on to the next one.
I love it.
It's like, oh, I could do this.
Yeah, no,
it's a real discipline thing to move on to the next theme, because there's something that I'm really passionate about that I want to do in my business, and I want to do it now. But if I spend my time doing that, I can't treat clients. And if I can't treat clients, I don't have income. So I've got to build that base first, bring on the staff, so that I guess you use the terminology of passive income. There's people who are earning whilst I'm not hands-on. Then I can focus on that next step. Yeah. And that next step is what I see in my vision as being the element of success in my business, the thing which will take me to the next level.
Yep.
It's quite a strong niche for me, but I need to build my base as part of my credibility before I can go to that next step.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it is like, that's how we break down Six Figure, is we look at, well, what's your 12-month goal? And let's raise the standards, because often what people come to us with is not quite enough. And we know that they're worth more and capable of more. And then we break that down into 90-day chunks. We normally cover off 4 pillars. So the first pillar is usually, like you've said beautifully, the therapist themselves, how to build them up, because that will then help you with staff. If you want to bring on board a staff member or two, then we look at things like workshops or e-programs or multi-level marketing, depending on what the right fit is for you. For some people, they're more managing staff and maybe it's not working so well. So we look at how we kind of merge the first 2 pillars and get the team working properly, so that the therapist themselves doesn't have to be getting burnt out. But the beauty about it is that if wherever you're at, if you're serious about running a business, we design the pillars for you. Because I know we've had other people who are like, yep, I really need the accountability. I need someone to break it down. I need someone to hold my hand. I need someone to reach out and go, I think I've got this great idea. And for someone to go, no, we are focusing. And then it's like, okay, now this is what I'm focused on. This is what I'm focused on. I don't want staff, but I just need someone to hold my hand and basically tell me to refocus. And kind of, some people say, we had someone actually step into the program and she said to me, can I just pay you to yell at me? That's what I need. I just need somebody to yell at me, which thankfully I've never needed to. But she knew that if she had someone there going, right, accountability, do this, that would be exactly what she needed, which is really cool. And I love that. So yeah, that's really cool.
So if you are thinking about doing fully booked, if you're new to the industry or you've been struggling for a long time to build past that 6 to 8 clients a week, fully booked is a great program to help you find your voice. If you're looking for someone to spoon feed you and do all the work for you, you'll be disappointed. You will have to do work. You will have to do work.
Yeah.
And overnight success usually takes years to achieve. Yes, you'll have to do work.
Yeah.
And there'll be elements of that which feel stressful and overwhelming, but it is broken down into bite-sized pieces. If you're not prepared to do the work, you won't succeed in the program. If you put the effort in and you're serious about it, you will do well.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we say. For anybody we've worked with who has put in the effort, who has actually done the work, they get results. Even if it's not in the exact time frame they thought, they will get results. We've had someone who's literally tripled her income. It's taken her 3 years, but she compared 1 month across 3 years, and has literally gone from around $6,000 turnover to $26,000 turnover 3 years later. It's like,
yes.
Did she get that result straight away? No, but she learnt the foundations that then 3 years later, I can't work out how many times that is. You can maybe, my mathematician friend may be able to do that, but it's like 3 or 4 or 5 times what she was doing. And if she had have gone, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that part, the results now wouldn't be the same as what they are, because she did every single step that was required, and consistently shows up and does that in her business even now, which is what I love. It's what I love. So awesome stuff. David, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a very busy man. It has been phenomenal to chat to you today. I know that your story is going to resonate with so many people. And I just love, like I said, the passion that you have to help people get through the way that you do. And you own that so beautifully. And I just want to say well done to you for everything that you've achieved in both the programs so far. And I look forward to working with you over the next 9 months as well.
Yes.
So there you go. That's David's amazing story that he's literally shared with us the past 2 years of his journey in business. Because often we think that business success happens overnight, but it's really about the steps that we take, the logical steps that we take in business, and it's about consistently showing up. So if you're at a place right now where you feel like you need to take everything to the next level, or you just feel like David's story has resonated with you, maybe you do an amazingly different technique, maybe you do something much more gentle, you're not sure how to market it, you're not sure how to, or even how to get out of your full-time job. If this is you, we encourage you to get in touch. Fill your details in below. We'd love to have a conversation to see how we can help take your business to a whole new level and turn your passion into a rocking business.